it's pretty incredible working with you guys from this 3D print to where we are now.
We help people with ideas get them to revenue.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 52 Launch Podcast. I'm here with James from HandiBru, and we have a very special episode today because this is the start of a new season, a new kind of playlist for the 52 Launch Podcast. It is our client launch day series, and yeah, we bring on clients that are about to launch and just kind of talk a little bit about their process. Some hardships, some victories, everything in between as we kind of approach launch day. So yeah, thank you for joining us. I think this is going to be very informational and very helpful to everyone. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Introducing HandiBru, the mug that's as hardworking as you are. Keep your drink ice cold with the included koozie. Need a tape measure? It's attached to the outside, ready to go. Screwdriver, it's built right in. And with our easy-to-use DIY guide, tackling home projects has never been simpler. It's not just for bros. HandiBru is for anyone who loves getting the job done. Whether you're fixing up the house or building something new, HandiBru has your back. Work hard, drink easy, and get more done with HandiBru. Order yours today at handibru.com. and take your DIY game to the next level.
I'm in Florida right now, but honestly, we're all over the place. That's kind of part of the story is I'm from Texas originally. My wife's from Colorado, and HandiBru's kind of like started from Texas. I will say that. So we basically we met in Vermont of all places, but I've always been in construction and been in IT and like Texas hot days or Florida hot days or even Massachusetts. You're in a hot day, you need your essential tools. You want, your screwdriver, you want this, you want that, but most of the time you're going to want to drink too. And that's kind of like where the idea came from. I've always, I've been a technician in my life wearing pouches and curious about how to make that process as efficient as possible. And anyway, that's where it came from. So basically from Texas to Colorado to Massachusetts, where I found out about you guys, and then back down to Florida now. So anyway, the idea has come from a lot of 3D printing and a lot of experience of, hey, how could I make this better? I've always been interested in that and design and stuff like that. So really our traveling story is part of the whole thing, and all the experiences that come with it. And because I've worked in fiber optics, and construction and everything. And every one of those jobs, I think added a little bit more to what the HandiBru was going to be. You get this from this job, I'm always going to need this with me, or always going to need a tape measure or this, or just the convenience of having something that always holds things, that you're going to need. That's just kind of, I came from that and doing all the DIY stuff, around the house. And, who knows, the cool thing that I've found about the product so far, I think that's going to be great, is everyone has a different use for what they would say, I'm going to use, how do you HandiBru, right? So I've heard, I'm going to take this fishing, right? Or I'm going to take this golfing and put some tees and golf balls in it, or camping or what have you. And that's been the coolest part so far. And I'm excited to see how everyone uses HandiBru to their own, to their own liking. So
yeah. Very sweet. Yeah, I think that's a huge part. I got the one that we use for the shoot here. And you can, we got these little compartments on each side, and like you said, you can do whatever your heart desires with them, whether that's golfing, fishing. I'm sure people will keep coming up with ideas for how to brew. How do you brew? What was the saying you just said?
How do you HandiBru?
How do you HandiBru? Yeah. which is also very important, having kind of a little tagline that brings people back to it. Yeah,
I like that one, Alex. It came together nicely, and I was like, rolls off the tongue. So fortunately, John and the team like that too, so we've been using that. But you're totally right, and then I think the brand, the idea of it has a lot of potential for other things, but right now it's like, this product's awesome. It's versatile. It's got a lot of different parts for different people. I think DIYers definitely, but then we have, just like we were talking about. I mean, I take mine everywhere now, and I had a flat tire the other day, and I had all the tools I needed right there in the HandiBru, and that's been pretty cool, just to see the versatility and how it can be used from the first conception, which actually, I don't know, I doubt. So this is the first thing I ever made for HandiBru. It's called the Working Man's Koozie, and it had a little level. You could put a screwdriver in it there. Still kind of the same, right? So this, and then the tools around it kind of thing. But anyway, it's pretty incredible working with you guys from this 3D print to where we are now. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's been awesome. Sure. It's been really cool.
It'd be nice to hear a little bit more about, obviously you just showed the one, and then I had this one up in the air a little earlier, but I guess just take us through, like, what was the process of going? So you have your 3D printed model, and you maybe have some iterations. Just kind of what went into going from there to where we are now.
Yeah, a lot of learning and experience, but yeah, I felt like I had a cool idea, but I've never started a business. I've never, done that kind of thing. So my first kind of idea was getting a website page out there, letting the people know about what this could be. And it was more of an invention at that point, right? So I was like taking it to an inventions, little seminars and stuff like that. And I finally found, so basically, I didn't know what I was going to do with it at that point. I thought it was a cool idea, and I thought it had some potential, but I had I'd passed 52 launch, funny enough, Alex, at I was working a construction site in Framingham about 2 years before I'd come up with HandiBru, or at that time, the Working Man's Koozie. And anyway, I didn't know what 52 launch was, but funny enough, I came across the website doing Google, doing a Google search one day, and I was like, I recognize that logo. And I looked it up, and I sent the idea to Pete and Dan and found their contact info, and they got back to me fairly quickly, and they were like, this is a great skeleton of idea. You want to talk? And we sat down, and now I get to work with you great people who have really helped me take an idea, and man, it's a reality now. They're made, we're going to market. It's incredible. And all the steps that have gone into that, from design to logo to marketing to manufacturing, warehousing, everything you learn as you are starting out on a new business like this. It's pretty incredible to see this thing right here, into where we're at now. I think that's pretty an awesome feat in itself. So I think that was a big thing. I'd gotten into 3D printing a lot, especially like during COVID, had a little bit more time, was learning how to 3D print. I'd worked at designing some other tools, some low voltage tools, and I got some advice, realized, maybe try some other designs and stuff like that. And I landed on this one, and it's stuck with me, and I'm happy that it's found it's a partner in 52 launch as well. So absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, no, I think you said it great. Just going from, and you came in with kind of like a prototype, and a lot of times, it might not even, it's just like a sketch, but again, having a prototype is so helpful. And yeah, it's it's always interesting to see how the iterations go, and you have sampling, you have tooling, you get one prototype, maybe we need to make some changes. And yeah, I mean, how exciting to start from a 3D printed one and then go through all those steps, and here we finally are. And like you said, all those every step along the way is leading up to the tangible and the actual, here's the HandiBru in hand. And
I think one cool thing, Alex, too, looking at it right now, it's like so many, it was a skeleton of an idea, like I said, but a lot of, friends and family were like, what if you did this? And what if you did that? And of course, 52 launch team with their ideas. So it's a culmination of a lot of ideas. So it's been a really cool journey, but it's a product that's better for it. I think the time that we took, and we said, no, let's do this. And maybe there were small little changes, but I think the end product is really, really sweet, really nice and clean. And I'm excited to see what the customers are going to say about it. So.
Yeah, for sure. And just something you said right there too. I like, a lot of times I always lean on the side of, take your time on whatever it is. Whereas if you especially something like this, where you're developing a product, if you try to cut corners and, you say, okay, that sample's good enough, we'll go through with mass production. And then you have however many thousand of them made. And it's like, if we had just taken our time a little more. So I know that's something that we see a lot of times on our side is, it's inevitably going to take a decent chunk of time, just with working with factories and design and working, with all those moving parts. So yeah, I just wanted to reiterate on that part that you said, because I know we see a lot of the times that's really going to be your best bet with just about anything. I mean,
Truthfully,
earlier, like we're talking about earlier about doing music and doing photo and video. And as I'm sure everyone can see, me and James are kind of talking, and he's got a pretty sweet little setup over there and likes to do some music. And we were kind of just chatting about, being creative with music, with photo and video, and obviously developing a product, making a actual physical, tangible product is a very creative thing. And I think just taking your time. I like the culmination of ideas as well.
Yes.
Just it's always going to be collaborative, and maybe you have a certain viewpoint on it, but just kind of getting others' opinions, because not everyone's going to have that same kind of bias as you.
I'll tell you, Alex, not to interrupt you, but like I think that's the two things that I've learned the most on this journey is patience, number one, and not, trusting others, but really just letting others just blossom and be themselves and work with this. I'm excited that this was the product that was come up with. It was in my mind, but now that it's out there, we've really just let it, resonate, or what's the word? Marinate, excuse me. We've really let it marinate into something great. And one thing I would say to any, one going into this and, potential 52 launch partners or anyone else thinking about doing, entrepreneur type things is be patient. And because it's there and it'll be there, but be patient and believe in yourself and trust in that process. It takes time, but and it takes a lot less time if you find someone like 52 Launch, truthfully, to be your partner. But point being, like, those are the two big things that I've taken away is, really trusting the process and trusting people and just letting them have their freedom to be creative, honestly, and patience, and just, making sure you're taking the time and remembering why you're doing this. You don't want to come out with a product that's half what you thought it was going to be. Take the time, let it marinate, because then I think it's really worth it. Especially now, it's so rewarding to see all the work, that we've done, and we've really gone from here to here to here, and I can take all these memories of, hey, we were at this meeting and this person came up with this idea, and now it's in the final product. So anyway, patience. Yeah, that's the message.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate obviously the kind words, and we want to help out. We want to help out clients. It's always huge to hear that we can kind of help you navigate, and it's it is imperative that you and any client is very passionate about their work, and that's just always going to make for a great collaboration, like we're saying.
Yeah.
Culmination of ideas coming together, patience, and I think
and you guys just really being passionate about it too has been such a motivator for me, because you guys have put out very successful and great products, quality products, time and time again. So when Dan and Pete were interested, of course, it got my interest going about it. But second, just the staff and every team member is just like so incredible to work with. Let's try this, let's try that. Just honestly, it's been an incredible experience. So
yeah, really glad to hear that. And I just want to add on my part of the involvement, as watching. I'm the creative content director here at 52, and I just wanted to add this part because it was a great little shoot that we did for HandiBru, and I was really excited with how it came out. And like James is saying, with just the passion from everyone, when I take my time to kind of like plan this out, and it's like, okay, how is this gonna look? This is gonna be on their website. What would it make the most sense to do here? And to send everything over and hear that James and his team are as ecstatic about it as everyone here at 52 Launch is just, it's just so rewarding. And it's great to hear. It was a fun product to work on. Again, just thinking about where it makes sense to shoot it, and back to patience, taking my time. You don't want to rush through.
Yeah.
This is going to be what's presented to people that are potentially buying it. So I wanted to just poke in real quick and say that it was a pleasure working with you guys on my one sector of what we know is a huge process that we are getting towards the end of, but also just the beginning, because now it's time to launch the website and get some sales rolling in. So
absolutely. Yep. Yes. And just to piggyback off on the work you did, I mean, where was that setting? First of all, where'd you find like the workbench and everything? Gosh, the lighting was really nice too, Alex. I love that lighting. It was great.
Yeah, thank you. So funny enough, right over here, this was that exposed brick that we were working with, and it's a little overcast today, so we don't have that nice sun coming in, but I saw that
on that day,
early in the morning is when we're gonna get it. We're gonna get that light coming in, and then we just set up a reflector so that some of that light coming in that looks great also reflects back on the product. And
gotcha.
We have just like props, like workbench, and we thought that made the most sense. And just even little, like getting, I won't show the actual can that we have in here, but just like, okay, I need a can that you can't tell what brand it is. And then, it's got the gold, it's got the blue. We're like, this is going to work out. So
no, it was clean and nice. I like that. I really liked how the setting, because especially I was talking about with you guys, a lot of the functionality, wearing it on your belt, for instance, or being able to use the tape measure right out of the HandiBru, stuff like that. We're just finding every day different ways you can use this thing, and different besides the what's on the package, there's all kinds of ways you can use it. You can put your cell phone on it, doing a project, got your cell phone there, and then you have your metric table right there, so your conversions, so you're planning your project, writing stuff down, having a sip of something, your beverage of choice there. And then so anyway, back to the video stuff. I was incredibly blown away, have been from the beginning at the quality of work that's produced by 52 Launch. And that's why for me, take the time, take the effort, make it what it is. And, I think that's a great thing to go with when you're starting something new like this, for sure.
Yeah, thanks again. And I think just kind of wrapping up here, we've talked patience, we've talked trust, and that seems like the biggest thing from just both sides. Trust your own intuition, trust others, take feedback, and collaborate. And
Yeah.
I guess the very last thing, like you're saying, you can put your phone in it, and we're talking about different scenarios. And I'm sure you and the team are excited. I know we're excited just to see when people get it. I'm sure there's new uses that that neither team has thought of.
Right.
That,
Exactly. Yeah.
bring it to a certain event or use it in a certain way. And very, very excited for that.
I would say too, to piggyback back off that for good, the customer too, to me, is going to be a big part of the collaboration, right? Because a big thing for me is, how do you HandiBru? We're going to have a page of people posting, hey, I did this way, or this is how I used it, or this is how I HandiBru. So to me, I'm just excited to see how this design is, collaborated in that customer community as well. So.
Yeah, awesome. And it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Great. All right. Well, yeah, I think keep it nice and brief right here. Good
Perfect.
little chat. James, thank you for joining me on this this quick podcast. Pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
You as always. And yeah, best of luck as we approach launch here.
Let's go do it, man. I appreciate it. Pleasure as always as well, Alex. Thank you, man.
Awesome. Yes, of course. And thank you everyone for watching. This is again a start of a new series, which is our client launch series. So James, thank you again for being the first to do this too. I think it's going to give great insight to everyone else and just kind of show our obviously, but more importantly, your excitement as we get to this stage. So
absolutely, Alex. It was my pleasure. Thanks, man. Thank you.